Hi, my name is Miss Pam, and I'm from Building Blocks Child Development Center here in Spencer, West Virginia. And I have a book and a project to do with you today. Our book is called A Porcupine Named Fluffy. Now, when I think about names for porcupines, I really don't think about the name Fluffy. Let's see what this book is all about. Porcupine Named Fluffy by Helen Lester, illustrated by Lynn Munsinger. When Mr. and Mrs. Porcupine had their first child, they were delighted. Now he needed a name. And look at him, isn't he so cute? Should they call him Spike? No, Spike was too common. Should they call him Lance? No, Lance sounded too fierce. Should they call him Needle Rooser? No, Needle Rooser was too long. Prickles? Pokey? Quillian? Then together they had an idea. Let's call him Fluffy. It's such a pretty name. Fluffy. I don't think that's what I would call Fluffy. Do you? Because those are prickles. Those are hard. But soon there came a time when Fluffy began to doubt that he was Fluffy. He first became suspicious when he backed into the door and stuck fast. That was not a Fluffy thing to do. Look at that. His quills went clear through the door. He was even more convinced when he accidentally slept on his back and poked holes in the mattress. A very unfluffy thing to do. And when he tried to carry an umbrella, he knew the truth without a doubt. Fluffy definitely wasn't. So he decided to become fluffier. Clouds are fluffy, he thought. I'll be a cloud. But he couldn't stay up. Look at that. He went, meow, pop, right on his head. I know. Pillows are fluffy, he said. I'll be a pillow. But when his mother sat on him, she was not pleased. He tried soaking in a bubble bath for 45 minutes. But he did not become fluffy. He became soggy. He tried whipped cream. He put a little on each quill. It was not easy, and it took more than half a day. But this did not make Fluffy fluffy. They should have named me Gooey, he sighed. He ate a lot of fluffy marshmallows. He rolled in shaving cream and feathers. He even tried to become a bunny. But the truth remained. Fluffy wasn't. One afternoon, Fluffy set out for a walk, trying to think of ways to become Fluffy. Before long, he met a very large rhinoceros. Grrr, said the rhinoceros. I'm going to give you a rough time. Fluffy didn't know what a rough time was, but he didn't like the sound of it at all. What is your name, small prickly thing? Asked the rhinoceros unkindly. Fluffy, said Fluffy. The rhinoceros smiled. He giggled. Then he laughed out loud and he rolled on the ground and he jiggled and slapped his knees and he roared with laughter. A porcupine named Fluffy, howled the rhinoceros. Fluffy was embarrassed, but he tried to be polite. And what is your name? He inquired. I can't say it, giggled the rhinoceros. Hubert? Suggested Fluffy. Oh, help, I just can't say it. I'm laughing so hard, said the rhinoceros. Harold? Or maybe Herman? Asked Fluffy. Oh, it's Hippo! Hippo? A rhinoceros named Hippo? Fluffy smiled. And then he giggled. And he laughed out loud. He jiggled and slapped his knees and he howled with laughter. A rhinoceros named Hippo! Fluffy cried. A porcupine named Fluffy. A rhinoceros named Hippo. It was almost more than they could bear. Hippo and Fluffy rolled on the ground, giggling and laughing until tears came into their eyes. At last, they lay exhausted on the ground, and from that time on, they were the best of friends. And Fluffy didn't mind being Fluffy anymore, even though he wasn't. The end. Now that is a cute story. A porcupine named Fluffy. Well, we think about our names and where we got our names and why our parents, who normally names us, gave us our names. And the parents are like, "Oh my goodness, we're gonna have such a beautiful baby boy or a beautiful baby girl, and whatever shall we name that baby?" Parents think long and hard about names for their children, and sometimes when we get bigger, we really don't like our name. We're like, "Oh my gosh, I cannot believe, why did my parents name me that?" I don't know that I like my name. But you know what? Parents thought long and hard about it. They just didn't go, call him George. Call him Fred. Even though Fred's not a good name for a girl, is it? And I don't know any girls named George. I do know a girl named Tommy. So names are different. And there's a lot of names that have special meanings to people. Like my name, my grandpa named me. Not my mommy, not my daddy. My grandpa named me. My grandpa liked the name Pamela, and that's what he named me. And it's a good thing that my mom and my dad liked it too. But my grandpa named me. So where did you get your name? Did it come from your mom and your dad? Are you named after someone? I'm kind of named after someone. You're not going to believe this. I have a cousin, and guess what? Her name is the same as mine. It is. Her name is Pamela. But they don't call her Pamela. And they don't call her Pam. They call her Sue. Because that is her middle name. And guess what? It's my middle name too. Because I'm named after her. Well, we get our names in all different forms. We have names that come from our grandmas and grandpas that they named us. But we are named after people. We're named after grandmas and grandpas and aunts and uncles and cousins and friends. And just names that a parent is like, "Oh, you know what? I don't know anybody with the name Heather." And that is how my daughter got her name. I didn't know anybody named Heather. And kind of turned out to be a really popular name, and now she doesn't really like it. And my son, same thing. What would be a good name for him? I think I will name him Jacob. And you know what? I didn't know anybody named Jacob, but guess what? Now I know lots of people named Jacob. So, your name is special to you, and you might ask your parents, "How did I get that name? Where did it come from?" I even know a guy, and you're never going to believe this. I know a guy, and his name is Bunny. Yeah, like the bunny. That's what his mama named him. And he's okay with it. He kind of likes it. But we all have different names. And your name is special to you. Well, I've got a project to do with us. And it's about Fluffy the porcupine. I made a porcupine box. Yep. It's just a wood cardboard box. And I drew a porcupine on it. All right. So now, here's my porcupine. And it's just a little box that I had at my house. I'm recycling it. And I have some toothpicks. And what you're going to do with the toothpicks is we're going to play a game. All right. Now, what we need for our game is we need our box. And we need our toothpicks. And I forgot it in my bag. Let me get out my bag here. All the mysterious stuff that we keep in the bag. All the good things. Pencil, markers, and pencils, and glue stick. Do you think I'm going to need all this? Glue stick. Ooh, this thing comes in handy. A hole punch. It makes holes. And a stapler, and a pen, and some crayons, and a pair of scissors. And do you see a dice in there? I don't see it in there anywhere. Where could it be? Somewhere else. In my other bag. Alright, so we'll get down in here. And we gotta get the other bag. And we'll see if the dice is in the other bag. And if you don't have a dice, guess what? Let me look and see if I got it in this bag. Well, we got some stickers, and we got some tape, and we've got papers. We do. We have the papers. Well, you know what we're going to do? We'll just use those. See, sometimes when you have a project that you want to do, and you're looking for the right stuff, you just can't find the right stuff. So what do you got to do? Do you just give up? Oh, I don't have my knives. I just can't do this today. No. Well, we'll just tell Mr. Justin to turn off the camera and all that stuff because we can't do nothing. We don't have what we need. Is that how you do things? That is not how we do things. We look at what we have and we decide if there's some other way we can do this. Okay, well, I don't think we're going to need this glue stick. And a white pencil? No. We're going to need this brown marker. Okay? So we got our pencils. We got our brown marker, and we got our papers. All right. So what we're gonna do to play our game is we're gonna take our pencil, our marker, and our papers, and we're gonna write some numbers. Okay. First number we're gonna write is number 1. We're gonna start at the top, and it's a straight line down. And that is number 1, just like that. Okay. Now we're gonna make the number 2. We're gonna start right here. And we're going to go a half a heart. We're going to draw a half a heart. We'll never do. Slide to the right and make a 2. All right. Now we're going to do the number 3. We're going to start right here. And we're going to go around a tree and around a tree. That's the way to make a 3. Now, here we're going to make a 4. Short stick, down and over, and down some more. That's the way to make a 4. Okay, now we're going to make the number 5. Now, short stick. Short stick, belly fat. Number 5 needs a hat. And now, you think that little piece will work? Nah, we don't need that piece. We're going to roll a hoop and make a loop. And that makes the number 6. Okay, here's our next one. Across the sky and down from heaven. That's the way to make a 7. All right. Now we're going to make the number 8. Make an S, but do not wait. Go back up and shut the gate. And there's a number 8. Now we need a number 9. We don't need that little piece of yellow, purple paper. All right. A hoop. Make your hoop. A hoop and a line makes the number 9. Now, we're going to go back to our 6 for just a second. So sometimes when you write these numbers, when you turn them upside down, they kind of look the same, okay? So what we do in our classroom is, this is my number 6, and I will put a line underneath it. So I know that is the bottom, okay? And then we do the same thing to our number 9. We draw a line on the bottom. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We'll put number 6 back in there. 7, 8, 9. One more number that we're going to do, and that's the 10. Now, when you have a 2-digit number, you have a 1 and a 0 is our 10. Now, we don't want to make our 0 a little tiny thing, and we don't want to make it clear over here. We want to make it right beside of our 1, and we want it to be the same size. Okay? So there's our number 10. Okay? Now look at that. We just made the cards number 1 through 10. All right. So now we're going to mix them all up. Mix them up, mix them up, mix them up, mix them up. And here we're going to play our porcupine game. All right, so we've got our porcupine. And we're going to put our squares right there. And then what I've done is I've taken my toothpick. And you have to have your adult do this part, okay? You have your adult, take your toothpick, and you just kind of poke it into the box, okay? Like that. Okay, you just give them a wiggle. So we'll poke a couple holes in it to show you how to do that. And like I said, this is for the adult part, okay? Sometimes we have adult parts to our lessons. Little things that the adults need to do because we could get hurt if we're doing it by ourselves. Okay, so the adult is going to poke some holes in it, kind of give them a wiggle, and there you go. All right, are we ready to play our game? We're going to turn over a number. We're going to look at that number, and that is the number 9. So we're going to get 9 of our toothpicks. Now, if you're little, your mommies and daddies can do this, and they can give you some Q-tips that they cut the other end off of. Okay, you don't have to use toothpicks, but we're going to count 9 toothpicks. You ready? And we'll start down here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. All right, let's turn over our next number. Our next number is 2. So we need 2 toothpicks. 1, 2. All right, so let's turn over our next number. Miss Pam can get a hold of it. Our next number is 3. Around the tree and around the tree. So we'll get 3 toothpicks. 1, 2, 3. How many of these cards do you think it's going to take us to fill up our porcupine? All right, let's flip over our next card. And our next card is roll a hoop and make a loop. That's a 6. So 6 toothpicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Do we have some more left? We sure do. All right, our next number is 7. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And look at that. We have filled up all of our porcupine. Now, you can kind of flatten your quills out a little bit if you want to. Just kind of push on them real easy the other way. Because, just like Fluffy, they're prickly. And there you go. We have a porcupine. What do you think? And how many cards, let's see, how many cards, we're going to take this away. How many cards we used to fill a porcupine, and how many cards do we have left? We used 1. Get a hold of them. 2, 3, 4, 5. We used 5 cards to fill up our porcupine. And you know what that means we have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It was an equal sign. And now we can take our 5 up here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And they are the same number. So we can take our toothpicks, and instead of making an open alligator mouth or a closed alligator mouth or an open alligator mouth, we can make an equal sign, because 5 equals 5. And there you go. We are all done. We made a prickly porcupine. Now, what are you going to name your porcupine? Fluffy? No, we already have a porcupine named Fluffy. Pokey? No. What are we going to name this porcupine? I think I'm going to name my porcupine. We'll write on here. Watch this. George. I've named my porcupine George. Well, that's it. George and I are done for today. I will see you next time, and I hope you have fun.